We are back with Commissioner Wayne Keefer. Again, thank you for joining us. We wanted to continue our conversation because we, like I said, have a lot more questions for you concerning economic development and some, other major projects that are happening in our county. So let's keep going with Colin. Actually,
So the one thing I really want to talk about, and this is something I happen to care very passionately, is I realize the county is the county and the city is the city. However, we have to admit the fact that the city of Hagerstown is one of the biggest economic drivers in the county. So there is a huge effort currently occurring around downtown revitalization. We've had the grant that Governor Hogan has given us. There's all the various things that the city is doing, and I know that there's an involvement from the county as well. So can you tell me a little bit about what the county is doing to help the city sort of stabilize itself and become an economic driver for the county?
Sure. And that's a great question, a great point you make about Hagerstown being so important in terms of Washington County's economy. Citizens of Hagerstown account for about 25% of the county's population, and the city of Hagerstown about 20% of the county's tax base. So it's very important. What happens in Hagerstown impacts Washington County as a whole. So you mentioned the downtown project. It's a great collaboration of many different entities, and I know I may miss one here, but Washington County Government, Washington County Board of Ed, the University System of Maryland, the Maryland Theater, and even some private developers to make that public-private partnership, the buzzword you hear so much about.
Right.
And it's important that we have a strong downtown, a strong tax base. That way the rest of Washington County does well. Again, Hagerstown is 20% of the county's tax base.
So, as a follow-on question to that, what is your thought on the education hub downtown, and the thought of maybe encouraging the growth of that education hub as being an anchor for downtown development?
Mm-hmm. Sure, certainly. What the downtown educational complex will do for the county is provide a high school for more students to attend, so it can alleviate some overcrowding at other high schools. But what makes this concept economically viable is some of the spaces will be shared with the USMH, some laboratory space, some dining spaces, and I don't believe dining spaces exist right now for the Barbara Ingram School. So that there's an opportunity for that partnership to come together so we can have that downtown high school without a cost that's extravagant to have all those other facilities if we can share that space.
Perfect, thank you.
Well, speaking of buzzword, as you said earlier, a lot of buzz has been happening around the selection of the new county administrator. And I'd like, Tom, for you to ask some questions around that.
You don't normally see the amount of controversy that led up to the whole process here, which I found, was rather interesting, knowing a couple of the people there. And I thought maybe you'd have a particularly interesting take on how they finally got to a unanimous decision. I mean, you are the new face on the block. You don't have the history.
Right.
And you're one, so you're the one of them, which is rather interesting. And I just wonder if you have any observations of what happened there and how it might affect things going forward. They finally did come to a good decision.
Sure. So it's no surprise, it's no secret that in the beginning, the process of how we move forward wasn't unanimous. For me, speaking for myself and no other commissioner, whether you agreed with me or disagreed with me, it was rather clear how the retirement plan works, the drop, the in-service, whatever it may be, that there's a 5-year commitment, and we were coming up on that 5-year. So how I looked at it as a leader of Washington County, we need to make sure that we're prepared to fill that role. That is the most important role in our county by far. That is the day-to-day operating officer of the county.
Rubber hits the road.
That's right, absolutely. So we needed to make sure that we had the time that it was necessary to find that replacement, knowing it wouldn't be an easy pick, it wouldn't be an easy process. So we gave ourselves about 6 months, give or take, for that process to unfold. We're nearing the end of it, and so that's why I felt that was important.
I think we have time for 1 or 2 more questions, and I want to give this one to Ron because I know you are always passionate about your railways, runways, and roadways, right? So
yes.
Let's go there.
Let's go there. Let's go with economic development. Economic development is totally an advisory board now. It used to have some teeth in it. They declawed it, took the fangs out, and just have a group of people sitting there with basically nothing to do except go to a meeting and drink coffee. You also have an airport advisory board which is advisory. How do we take our roadways, runways, and railways and use them in the marketing process? You've got a marketing department of 3 people, When are we going to turn them loose and let them market what we have and give some teeth back to these advisory boards we have?
Well, Ron, that's a very good point. We have some fantastic people that serve as advisory members of many different county boards, and they volunteer their time and their expertise for no money whatsoever. And we have on our Economic Development Committee, for example, we have attorneys, we have CPAs and accountants, and we have people that represent tens of thousands of employees here in Washington County. They're the heads of Hagerstown Community College and Meritus Medical Center and other private companies as well. Wealth of expertise and knowledge that they share. I would like to use them a little more. And I would like to see maybe us as commissioners, it needs to be the commissioners that take responsibility here and invite them to more commissioner meetings to gauge their interest and their ideas a little better and give them opportunities to share with us what we need.
That's great to hear.
Commissioner Keefer, I always like to ask this question with our government folks that come on board, and it can be brief, but what is the #1 goal that you want to achieve in your in this current term of office with the board?
Oh, my #1 goal.
If it's just one.
What a great question. I would say leave the county no worse off than what it was when I entered service. I think that's very broad.
Good place to start. Thank you so much for being with us, and we would love to have you back again, and we appreciate everything that you shared with us this evening. And
Thank you very much.
that's going to be it for this segment. Up next, our panel takes a closer look at the fate of public television. We're back in 3 minutes.